we actually just learned this one recently when we did section 7.1. We can use integration by parts, because regular u substitution is not going to work for this. Right? If we set this equal to u, we're just going to end up with a u e to the u. It doesn't make it any better. But what we can do here is integration by parts. So we need to figure out what's u, what's dv, and then we can figure out du and v. So remember, dv is going to be our more complicated part that has a nice easy antiderivative. U in this case, we're going to set that as x. dv is going to be e to the negative x dx. Right? By setting x as our u, that's going to make du nice and simple. It's just going to be 1 dx. So that's going to help simplify what we end up with inside the integral. Derivative of e to the negative x is going to be e to the negative x times derivative of negative x, which is just negative 1. So remember, we get u times v minus the antiderivative from a to b of v du. That's our formula. So we get x times negative e to the negative x, and we put the negative out in front, minus definite integral, we're still going from 0 to 1, of v du. So it's just negative e to the negative x, so I'm going to make this positive e to the negative x dx. So this is simpler. We can evaluate this. Now, technically we need to use u substitution here because it's not just e to the x, it's e to the negative x. So I'm going to set u equal to negative x. Du would just be negative dx. So we have to multiply the inside by negative 1, outside by negative 1. And remember, we changed the a and b as well. So it's minus, if we put 0 in there, it's still 0. Put 1 in, we get negative 1. And then this is e to the u du. So we get negative x e to the negative x minus antiderivative e to the u is just going to be e to the u. I'm going to put the negative. You know what? I'm going to change what I'm doing here. Since this is all in terms of x, I'm going to go ahead and put the negative e to the negative x back in for u, and I'm going to go back to what this was. I'm not going to change this. I know I've told you not to do this in the past, but this one's a little bit different because of the u and v out here that we still have to evaluate in there. So normally you would change these and keep everything in terms of u, but since these are out and already have in terms of x, we're going to kind of keep these the same. And now we can evaluate if we put 1 in there, we get negative 1 times e to the negative 1. So it's just negative e to the negative 1. And put 1 in here, we get minus e to the negative 1. Then we have to subtract what we get when we put 0 in there. So if we put 0 in here, we're going to get 0. Put 0 in here, we're going to get 1. So we have negative 2 e to the negative 1 plus 1.